of the school year. Actually, the first one we've had for quite a while. Unlike our pep rallies and our fun assemblies, this is a time set aside to honor our students who are receiving these awards today and their guests. Please be respectful of this time by remaining quiet and in your seats for the duration of the assembly. For many years, Lebanon High School has had the honor of awarding students with the Teacher Academic Letter of Excellence to students who have earned a cumulative grade point average of 3.75 or higher. And this year will be no different. Today, we have the honor of recognizing 235 sophomores, juniors, and seniors. To our student body, as well as our guests, it's important to know that many of these 235 students have earned this achievement while also participating in extracurricular activities, sports, holding down jobs, and taking challenging course loads. The accomplishments that we are celebrating today should be celebrated and recognized, and it's my hope that each student here recognizes in themselves the hard work and dedication that it takes to achieve this honor, and that they continue to strive toward excellence. At this time, I'd like to welcome to the podium our Student Council Executive President, Ms. Libby Hayes.
Thank you. Please stand as we honor our nation with the national anthem performed this morning by Lebanon High School Chamber Choir members under the direction of Mr. Max Jackson, and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance and the singing of our alma mater, also performed by the Chamber Choir.
For the
Assembly to honor our Lebanon High School Teacher of the Year, and they are honored by giving a speech. Lucky them. Unfortunately, our 2022-2023 high school Teacher of the Year is Miss Lori King, and she's unable to be with us today. However, we have another amazing Teacher of the Year with us. Mr. Ryan Emmerich was the Lebanon High School Teacher of the Year during the 2020-2021 school year, and due to certain circumstances during that time period, he was unable to give his speech. So we've all been looking for ways for him to be able to do that, and so he has been gracious enough to give today's speech during the Tales Assembly. Mr. Ryan Emmerich has been teaching at Lebanon High School for 13 years and has taught physical science, life science, and environmental science over that time. He received his Bachelor of Science degree in Wildlife Management from College of the Ozarks and his Master's degree in Biology from Southern Illinois University. Mr. Emmerich has a passion for leading his students through independent research projects, and he is extremely proud of the accomplishments of all of the students in his room, some of which include students who have competed in the local, state, and international science fairs. And additionally, he has had several students who have gone on to have their research published in student journals. Mr. Emmerich was given the Senior Division Grand Prize Teacher Award from the Ozark Science and Engineering Fair in both 2021 and 2022, and is a Society of Science STEM advocate. Lebanon High School is honored to have Mr. Ryan Emmerich as a leader for students. Please help me in welcoming our 2020-2021 LHS Teacher of the Year, Mr. Ryan Emmerich.
Thank you. 3 years ago, there were students sitting in these very seats for a Tales Assembly, eager about their future, thinking about, making the most of their time left in high school. Maybe even think about what college they would choose. Then, as we know, later on that school year, out of nowhere, I was selected Teacher of the Year. So historically, as Dr. Quinn mentioned, the Teacher of the Year speaks at Tales Assemblies. So, as the saying goes, you can run, but you can't hide. But for real, that was a tough time for everyone. And I think, there can be some important things learned from that time. Living through the pandemic, like you can't have enough toilet paper, or even, how to make a TikTok. Shout out LHS Research. Don't worry though, if you look it up, no dancing, we're good there. For real, I've been fortunate enough though to collaborate with some students since that time, and as Dr. Quinn mentioned, we had some students, 2 students qualify for Regeneron International Science and Engineering Fair. 3 student publications, numerous students winning cash prizes and scholarships. It's in fact been an awesome experience with these students. In fact, I reached out to some of those students since they've been taking research, I've compiled some important quotes that they've left me with as sort of some motivation. Like, I hate research. Can I drop out? And I just want to cry. That's my favorite. It's on the wall in the lab. You can go in there and look at it. Because it's one of those things that students need to keep in mind that, failure is a possibility and it's okay. We have a motto in the lab, fail forward. We say this because it's an important part of the scientific process. And so, keeping that in mind, here's a little bit of science to add to that. Researchers at Brown University, University of California, and Princeton came up with a so-called 85% rule. And so, essentially what the 85% rule says is that learning is optimized when 15% of the time you don't have the right answer. So, Tales recipients, that's important. Keep that in mind. And what's interesting about the 85% rule is that it seems to hold true in all of animal models, whether you're using it on mice or humans, and even in machine learning circumstances, which is amazing. So, Tales recipients, I want to explain how this is going to apply to you. So what I did is, I did like any good science person does, and I asked the internet. Shout out to LHS Research on Instagram. And so what I did was I asked previous students, if you were sitting in that seat today, what is it that you would say to yourself? One student said, stop focusing on completing the work, whether you learn the material or not. Learn at every opportunity you have. Another said, you can do it, college is so much better. Another one, this is a good one. If you don't chill out, you're going to eventually burn out in a few years. Stop focusing on the numbers. They seem so important now, but you are so much more than a data sheet. Take time to rest and do non-school activities. Another student said, enjoy the little things about high school. Also, take as many dual credit classes as possible. And lastly, not getting an A isn't the end of the world. Oh, I almost forgot. I added this one last minute before I came up here. Don't procrastinate. Some of you got that, others didn't. So what I want to leave you with is notice that when asking those former students, there wasn't a huge effort on getting good grades or being perfect. So that's important to keep in mind. I want you to hear the focus of those former students, the focus on learning, experiences, effort, and taking part classes. So, Tails recipients, I hope you failed. Well, only 15% of the time. Congratulations and fail forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Emmerich. At this time, would our first section of senior Tails recipients please stand and begin making your way to the stage. As is the tradition for our Tails recipients, first-time students will receive an academic letter and a Lamp of Knowledge pin. Second and third-time recipients will receive a service bar pin. At this time, please welcome to the podium LHS drama teacher Ms. Sabrina Sander and LHS speech and debate and publications teacher Mr. Sam Overton. This morning they will be reading our recipient names. As our recipients exit the stage, they will receive their certificates, bars, and pins, and please hold your applause until all names are read. Brooklyn Gregory. Grass Hauser. Sailor Hilton. Tegan Herring. Casey Hicks. Ramira Honey.
Emily Hopkins. Lucy Huff. Kaylee Howerton. Dakota Jenkins. Kylie Johnson. Kaylee Johnston. Jessa Joyner. Christopher Kilburn. C.C. King. Tessa Creamer.
Brayden Lamontagne. Abby Lawson. Michaela Light. Victoria Little. Jenna Massey. Olivia McGruder. Lorelei McQueen. Evan McSorley. Brianna Miller. Fisk Miller.
Kefton Morbacher. Cameron Myers. Anthony Myers. Taylor Nail. Ayana Nedanowski. Benjamin Nelson. Brock Piercy. Jacob Regan. Addison Redmond. Bronson Rhodes.
Olivia Rubel. Charles Schaefer. Darius Schott. Abigail Simmons. Alyssa Singh. Alexis Skidmore. Mahala Smith. Rob Anthony Sutton. Carissa Tapp. Jackson Van Fossen.
Edie Waterman. Gianna Waterman. Javen Wells. Kason Woods. Rudy Zavalos.
Parents, families, students, and staff, thank you for taking the time to be with us today as we honor these outstanding Yellow Jackets. This concludes the 2022-2023 Tales